do you think things have changed in that you can play less games than back in those days?
Well, now my passion for gaming hasn't dwindled at all. I think now it's more that there are more factors involved with life in general. Being older, obviously, you've got to make ends meet, etc. So you need a job, and social life's grown, and private life as well. Family is also involved. So these things, you just basically have a lot more responsibility as an adult. And so now I don't have the luxury of that much time to play multiple games with. So I have to be very careful and play, using my time. I have to play what I can play and what I'll be most effective, what works out to be most productive for me playing. And I think at the moment, those are why I'm playing the current games I'm playing. Well, for me, I really love Third Strike, for example, but I've had my run on that game. I started in 2005, and I think I had a pretty good run. I travelled around to play Third Strike, all over Europe, Japan, America, and I'm proud of my accomplishments on Third Strike. I'm proud of the top names that I've been able to win against, and tournaments that I've been able to win. So my run from 2005 to 2008, I'm happy, with that. I'm satisfied, and that's that really. I think that for me, the game is still an amazing game, and there is still a community for it. But for me, I have to draw the line at some point, just because I just don't have the time. So, which is sad, but true. And I would also say the same for Tekken as well, because Tekken 6, the thing is, as much as people hate the game, if I'm honest, I do actually really like Tekken 6, even though, it's got the rage factor and a lot of the characters are not as good as people would like them to be. I still enjoy playing Tekken when I play it. But I just don't have the time to actually play it to a point where I'm actually improving and creating new material and taking that material to tournaments, etc. So, although it's a great game, it's got a good following as well, I have to say that with the same reason for Third Strike, I have to just admit that, I kind of quit Tekken at Tekken 5 DR, and, if time allows it, or if things change, then maybe when Tekken Tag Tournament 2 comes out, I'll be back on board with the Tekken brand, but for now I just have to give it a rest. But, it is a great game, it does have a community, it's just, it can't be for me right now.
Okay, so what is the most important factor for you now as a professional player in taking up a game?
For me, it's to support the team that sponsors me to the highest level I can, and on the games that I'm valued on, that there is value in marketing, and right now that is Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, soon to be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and Tekken Tag Tournament 2 possibly. So there's definitely room for more gaming in terms of playing different fighting games. But yeah, I have to prioritize Arcade Edition because that is the most thriving game that I'm heavily involved with right now.
Why do you think that is?
You could just break it down to the fact that it's Street Fighter at the end of the day. I mean, it's that game, isn't it? But more than that, I think that it's one of the most accessible fighting games to come out, and it's allowed people to get involved. If they, people have had a break from fighting games, players who've played back in the day, and have wanted to come back to the scene, that's a perfect entry point for them. Just because it's got that low entry level barrier, I think it's just so, you can play it on any level. You don't have to be the grandmaster, but you can still have fun with it, and that's all people want to do at the end of the day. Everyone wants to win a tournament, everyone just want to load up a game, have some fun with their mates, and it's everything, isn't it? It's you can bring it to that amazing Japanese level, or you can just play at home with a couple of mates, and it's still a good game.
You also mentioned Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Did you play that? Do you play that?
Yeah, well, keeping it down a bit, but I'm starting that game. I'm quite slow with the Marvel series, not picking it up from Marvel 3. I did actually play Marvel vs. Capcom, the original one. I used to use Captain Commando and Strider Hiryu, but I had a lot of problems with Wolverine and Spider-Man. I was like, oh, forget this game. These characters are team. They probably weren't that bad. I probably just didn't know enough, but at the time it felt so broken. I was like, nah, forget this team. Forget this game. Anyway, I mean, Strider was good, but I felt like Captain Commando let me down, but I don't know, I was probably crap at the game, I don't know. So anyway, we have the revival with Marvel 2, and that was like just America's game. They were just so dominant on that game, no one could beat them anywhere in the world, Even the Japanese were like, forget that, and they said, nah, turn a blind eye. And then so Marvel 3 came out, and then, back up again, and Ultimate now. And I'm getting really jealous of watching all my friends have so much fun on that game, and I'm not getting involved. So I'm like, you know what? I've had enough. Let's start. Let's get involved. So I will be picking the game up.
Okay.
And I mean, it just attracts so many players. It attracts so many fans of the Marvel series in general, as well, the comic readers. People that write their own material. And so no, I can see why that's going to be really big.